YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Sports Culture, and I'm back with another video here today. And in this video, it's going to be my final mock draft for the Green Bay Packers for the 2025 NFL Draft class. I'm very, very excited for this video. Just very excited for tomorrow. As I'm recording this, it is April 23rd, 5:38 p.m. where I live, and more or less than 24 hours away from the NFL Draft. And I feel like tomorrow, I don't really know what's going to happen. There's 4 positions of need for the Green Bay Packers that I think they could go with. Edge, receiver, interior defensive lineman, and cornerback. And I feel like, depending on what the board looks like and who's on the board, they could go with any one of those 4 positions tomorrow. So without further ado, man, let's get right into this video. I'm very excited to make this final mock draft for you guys. And hopefully tomorrow, man, we're all excited and all happy about who the Green Bay Packers select in the first round. So without further ado, man, let's get into the 7-round mock draft and the final 7-round mock draft for the Green Bay Packers from my channel. So I did make a trade right off the bat with the Baltimore Ravens. Gave them pick 23 and 87 in return for pick 27, 59, and 136. I really didn't want to give them pick 87, but pick 59 is a really, really good pick in a very good area where a lot of good players are in terms of like wide receivers, cornerbacks, edge, and interior defensive linemen. Could really get away with a really good player at pick 54 and at pick 59. Like really, really good players. So I will get back to you guys at pick 27 and then see who I select. So here we are at pick 27 now. And there is a lot of great players, man. You got guys like Walter Nolan, Emeka Egbuka, Kenneth Grant, James Pierce, Matthew Golden, Trey Amos, Nick Skorton, Benjamin Morrison. Shamar Stewart did go at pick 24, and Derek Carmen did go at pick 26. So those guys are off the board. With this pick, though, man, I'm going to go with Kenneth Grant. I just really can't pass on Kenneth Grant. He feels that TJ Slaton role and gives us upside plus. This dude's like 21 years old, 6'4", 340 pounds, very, very athletic. And I know people talk about him not having the pass rush upside right now, but if you turn on the tape from 2023 and turn on the tape from 2024, you see a huge improvement from pass rushing. I think he's only going to get better. And him being in a room with guys like Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, he's only going to get better pass rushing and using his hands as a pass rusher. Going to be a force to be reckoned with against the run, though. A huge force to be reckoned with. This dude takes up a lot of blocks, takes up a lot of space. He makes the job easier for those around him on the defense. So with this pick, I am going to go with Kenneth Grant. Matthew Golden was a huge option right here, and I really do like Matthew Golden a lot. He was on a top 30 visit with the Green Bay Packers, and he's definitely a guy I could see the Packers targeting in the first round. Wouldn't mind him one bit. But with this pick, I'm going with Kenneth Grant. I think he's easily a top 20 pick. I don't know how I'm getting him at pick 27. This is a finesse deal right here at pick 27. So here we are at pick 54, and with this pick, I was going to go with Trey Harris if he fell to us at pick 54. One of my favorite wide receiver prospects in this year's draft class. But I'm going to go with Jalen Royals. I think this is a guy the Packers could definitely target in the second round. Has the speed the Packers are looking for. Very good after the catch. One of those wide receivers where as soon as you give him the ball, he can make things happen and potentially score. Very, very dynamic with and without the ball in his hands. He's a prospect I really do like in this year's draft class. Top 10 player easily. Another guy I was really looking at is Kyle Williams, who I think has the best release package in this year's draft class. The dude is hard to get your hands on off the line. He's very, very good off the line. Wouldn't mind Kyle Williams. Wouldn't mind Jalen Royals. Wouldn't mind any of these wide receivers, to be honest with you. Jared Ivey was another option right here as well. I really like Jared Ivey for this defense. But with this pick right here, I am going to go Jalen Royals. I simply can't pass on the speed that he brings for this offense. And we need another speed wide receiver, especially with Christian Watson being out for the majority of next year. Maybe doesn't fit the height, per se, measurements for the Green Bay Packers at the wide receiver position. Him only being 6 foot, 205 pounds. But he's super athletic. Has the ability to high point the football very well. He's a natural hands catcher for a guy his size. Very good after the catch. Super dynamic. And it just feels like if he's there at the second round, especially the later parts of the second round at pick 54, he's a guy that the Packers would probably target in my personal opinion. So I made another trade down with the Buffalo Bills. Really hoping this player I want falls to us at pick 62. But if he doesn't, it is what it is. Really do want to get a cornerback for this team. We did give them pick 59. In return, we got pick 62 at 109. So I will get back to you guys at pick 62. So here we are at pick 62. And with this pick, I'm going with Darian Porter, the cornerback from Iowa State. Just feels kind of like a Green Bay Packers player with the high ceiling, the athleticism, the RES score, what he did at the combine. He does have a limited experience as a starting cornerback and just experience overall. But one thing this guy is very athletic, a very good special teams player. And he is older at 24 years old, and it kind of sounds weird to say that, you could develop a 24-year-old because that's super old for a rookie. But I think we could develop this guy. I don't think he has to be thrown into the fire right off the bat at the cornerback position, especially if we do decide to keep Jair Alexander. I'm pretty sure we are. But who knows? Anything could happen tomorrow during draft day. But if we do keep Jay Alexander, we'd have Jair, Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, Javon Bullard in the slot, Kalen King in his second year, Nate Hobbs, who we signed, and then you had a guy like Darian Porter, who doesn't really have to play necessarily that many snaps, but could get, just experience. I think, we could develop him and definitely give him some time to, just overall grow into that position. I think he's one hell of a player. Really high ceiling, 6'4", 200 pounds, has an insane height to weight ratio for the cornerback position. But like I said, 24 years old, he is an older prospect. But even if he doesn't start at the cornerback position right off the bat and doesn't even get that many snaps, we're talking about somebody that could be an elite special teams player. And I know that's not something you like to draft, in the second round per se, but I think this guy's one hell of a player, has the high ceiling, just feels like a Green Bay Packers player, and he's honestly the best cornerback prospect on the board right now, and cornerback's still a big need, and he's an outside cornerback, so it just makes a lot of sense. So here we are, pick 109, and I think this is going to be a phenomenal pick right here. We're getting Elijah Roberts, the edge from SMU. This dude is like 6'4", 280-ish, 290-ish pounds, a big body dude, definitely fits that 4-3 defensive scheme position, and he's a very productive edge rusher as well these last 2 years. Had 8 sacks this year, 7 quarterback hits, 45 hurries, and 2 batted passes. The previous year, 13 sacks, 11 hits, 47 hurries, and 1 batted pass. And I did get to his film pretty late in this draft process, but I really do like what I saw, man. He's a very powerful edge rusher. Maybe is a little bit stiff at times, but I mean, he's a big dude. What do you expect? But solid get off the line. Very powerful. Has a solid arsenal of moves in his pass rush repertoire. Just really liked what I saw on film. Solid run defender, holds the edge pretty well because he's a big body dude. Just feels like a Green Bay Packers type player. We need more edge rushers. We need more pass rushers. And Elijah Roberts is probably the best edge rusher on the board right now. And he's somebody that's been very productive, has been very disruptive at the collegiate level. And he does get drafted 17%, what am I talking about? 17% by Packers fans when they make mock drafts. So with this pick right here, we are going with Elijah Roberts, the edge from SMU. So here we are at pick 124. And this is more of a luxury pick. We've already drafted all the position of needs: wide receiver, cornerback, interior defensive lineman, and edge rusher. So we could kind of just go with more luxury picks right here. And this is a guy the Packers have had talks with before. And you really can't have enough offensive linemen. And that guy is Logan Brown, the tackle from Kansas. And he really doesn't have that many, experience just in general in terms of snaps at the collegiate career. I want to say he has like around 400 or 300 or 500 snaps only. So really not that many snaps. I want to say this year was the most snaps he's played in a single season. Yeah, was 609 snaps this year. The previous year only 134 and then 57. So it was a little bit off. He has like around 700 snaps, but still not that many snaps, not that much experience. But this is somebody that didn't allow a single sack this year, a single hit, only 6 hurries. Very, very good run blocker. His film, honestly, is pretty solid. I really liked what I saw. He's kind of a molar in the run game. Pass blocking wise could get better, but in the run game, really liked what I saw. To me, I don't know if he could, but I kind of see he's a big dude, 6'6", 315, 24 years old, a little bit older as well, but he is kind of light on his feet. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers kind of try to transition him into a guard. Sounds a little crazy, but I really do think he could play tackle or guard. He's really light on his feet, in my opinion. Not too heavy-footed for a guy his size. It would be a big body at guard, but it could definitely happen. I mean, I really liked what I saw. Partially on film from the run game, just really light on his feet. Looks like a molar. Would really like to see him in the middle. And you can't have enough offensive linemen. We seen what happened in that Philadelphia Eagles game. When Alkin Jenkins got hurt, I say this every mock draft when I draft an offensive lineman. But you see what happened in that Philadelphia Eagles game when Alkin Jenkins got hurt. The production, not the production, but the pass protection and just overall play from the offensive line wasn't the same. So just having more guys back up behind your starters and more guys that can play up to that level is always a great thing. So with this pick, I'm with Logan Brown, the tackle from Kansas. So here we are at pick 136, and with this pick, I am going to go double dip at the edge position, and that was with Amon Hassan and the edge from Boise State. He's somebody I didn't really get to a little bit later on with this film, but a little bit on the shorter side in terms of like length at the edge position, around like 6'3", 6'2", 270-ish pounds. Wingspan isn't nothing crazy or anything like that, but this is the dude that plays with a lot of effort, man. A lot of effort. He's a grinder. He's a guy you'd want on your team. Really good personality, it seems like, as well. He's a really good team captain. A lot of those Boise State guys talk about him very highly. Really good motor for the position as well. Really good, like, he has good technique. He plays really low to the ground. Really good hand usage. Pad level's really, really fine. Great lower body, like, strength. He could drive into tackles and just offensive linemen very easily and drive them back. Pass rush wise, like I think he's a very solid pass rusher. Needs to work on some more like counter moves and just overall more pass rush moves at the next level. But he's just a guy to get some more depth into the edge rush room and just on that defensive line. Really like the personality I've seen from him. Really good effort, really good grinder. Just kind of seems like a good fit for this Green Bay Packers defense and just team in general. So with this pick, we are going with Ahmad Hassanin, the edge from Boise State. So here we are at pick 159, and I am going to double dip at the wide receiver position. Dante Thornton Jr. and Andrew Armstrong are the two guys I'm looking at right here. If I didn't draft Jalen Royals early on, I would definitely go Dante Thornton Jr. because of the speed, and that's what we need. But we already got a speedster in Jalen Royals, so with this pick, I am going to go with Andrew Armstrong, the wide receiver from Arkansas. I'm a huge fan of this guy's game. I definitely prefer him over a guy like Dante Thornton Jr. I think Andrew Armstrong is one of the more underrated prospects overall in this year's draft class. This guy has been very productive. I know his speed isn't nothing crazy. He's not the greatest separator in the world, but he has good route running nuisances. Off the line, I think he's very solid, but the one thing that just separates him a lot from, I think, some other guys in terms of like hands catching in this year's draft class is his late hands. He has the trait of late hands, which is a super great trait to have as a wide receiver. It makes it hard for cornerbacks to know when the ball's coming in, and he has the ability to use late hands and really just fool some cornerbacks. Not the greatest, like I said, separator, not the greatest speed in the world. Really doesn't give you much after the catch, but this is somebody that just, if he gets a step on a cornerback, you put the ball in his area, at least a good solid throw, he's going to come down with it because of his great body control, great hands, his ability to high point the football and just come down with it. And he's been someone that's been very productive, man. This year, 1,140 yards, 14.6 yards/receptions, and 1 touchdown. The previous year, 764 yards, 5 touchdowns. The year before that, 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. Drop rate of a 4.9%, and he has a great versus man coverage of an 83.3. Really do like him in the later rounds. I think personally, man, he should get drafted inside the 4th round. I think he's a way better prospect than getting drafted at the late 5th round. So with this pick, we are going with Andrew Armstrong, the wide receiver from Arkansas, and I might get graded bad for this one right here, but I really don't care. So here we are, pick 198, and with this pick, I just want to get another cornerback for this team. We could definitely add some more guys into that room, and this guy right here is O'Donnell Fortune, the cornerback from South Carolina. I really do like him a lot in the later rounds. Has a solid size, 6'1", 185 pounds. Is older at 23 years old. But this is somebody that's very good at zone coverage, is fairly athletic, has some really good speed, and we played a lot of zone coverage last year. So it just makes a lot of sense to draft cornerbacks that fit that defensive scheme, fit that zone coverage type of role. And this is somebody that has the speed, has the athleticism to drive on the ball and go out there and get interceptions. Allowed 355 receiving yards this year, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a pass rating of a 61.4. An outside cornerback as well. So just makes a lot of sense, man. We don't need any more boundary. We don't need any more slot cornerbacks. Anybody that could play inside. We need more guys that can play outside. And drafting a guy like Darian Porter and O'Donnell Fortune just makes a lot of sense, doubling down at the cornerback position. So with this pick, I am going with O'Donnell Fortune, the cornerback from South Carolina. Here we are, pick 237, and with this pick, I'm going with Cam Horsley, the defensive lineman from Boston College. This is one of the better run defenders against the run in this year's draft class. Without a doubt, man. This dude is 6'4", 306, really good at stopping the run. And I really just like the story of reuniting him with his former defensive coordinator. His former head coach in Jeff Hafley. I know we drafted with our first pick Kenneth Grant in this mock draft, but you can never have enough defensive linemen, especially with guys like Devontae Wyatt. Having the option next year, the Packers having a decision to make with him the next coming years if they want to keep him, sign him to a new deal, things like that. So drafting another defensive lineman really makes a lot of sense in my opinion, especially someone that's really good at stopping the run. And Cam Horsley this year had one quarterback hit, 15 hurries, and 6 batted passes. He's not going to be a guy that gets you sacks, but he's going to be somebody that fills the hole, takes up a lot of space, takes up blocks, and is really good against the run. So with this pick, we are going with Cam Horsley, the defensive lineman from Boston College. So here's what PFF has graded my final mock draft for the 2025 NFL draft class for the Green Bay Packers. With our first pick, we did go with Kenneth Grant, got a B+. Second pick, Jalen Royals got a B. Darian Porter got a B. Elijah Roberts got an A. Logan Brown, I did say I was going to get graded bad for this one. Got a D right there. Ahmad Hassanin got a A-. Andrew Armstrong got a C+. O'Donnell Fortune got an A. And then Cam Horsley and Joe Hubert both got a C+ for that. In the top 43%, and my overall draft grade was a B+. So let me know what you guys think about this mock draft in the comments. Probably one of my better ones. I really do like this mock draft. Getting a guy like Kenneth Grant in the first round is a huge steal. I don't know how this is not an A+. I think this guy is definitely a top 20 prospect. Don't see him falling to pick 20 in real life, but who knows. And then adding some guys like Jalen Royals, Darian Porter, Elijah Roberts, Ahmad Hassanin, Andrew Armstrong, O'Donnell Fortune. this is a very, stacked mock draft in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about this mock draft. It's been your boy Sports Culture. I'm out.